Thank you.
So on many of the versions of Zoom, when you click down at the bottom on the participants button, you'll get a panel on the side, participants panel. And in there will be, or should be, a button to push to raise hand. I just upgraded or updated my software. And for me, the raise hand button is now in the reactions down at the bottom. When I click on reactions, there will be a raised hand button there. So if you have trouble, wave wildly if you can't find it, but you should be able to.
Okay, thank you. And then for those old school that are working like me, I'm using a phone, and it's *9 to raise your hand, and also *9 to unraise your hand. So that's how we're kind of doing this. Again, if you're having problems navigating the buttons and stuff like that, if we can see you visually, you can actually wave your hand or start jumping up and down, and we usually react sooner or later. And so that takes care of that. Next thing on the agenda would be announcements. So I just want to make the announcement. Some questions were brought up on our new policies and procedure thing today, and we'll maybe talk about that later in the meeting. But we are trying to correct that and get the proper wording on it. And otherwise, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I'm glad we're all here and forging along in our new kind of society that we're in. And then next, I'll go to members' announcements. Do any of the members have any announcements for the first of the year?
This is Julie. Hey,
Hi, Julie.
Do we have I'm not even looking. Do we have a future agenda item? Maybe I just want to make some suggestions for future agenda items.
Okay.
The new laws surrounding septic systems. A lot of us, Cabrillo Estates, Martin Tract, over here where I live and Larry lives, a lot of Los Osans are still on septic, and the water board has handed down some very strong rules about septic systems. It's going to be very costly, and I think it'd be really important if we had a probably at Land Use have a workshop on it, invite the man from the county, his name is Michael Bird, to give us a presentation, or encourage you all to watch the last BMC meeting. He gave a presentation there, but we want to learn more and more about it. The full LOCAC should also learn about it. I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. But, you know, as we Land Use are looking at permits, we can, you know, help educate the folks, as there'll be a lot of cost, and maybe they may need extra space on their property to install these efficient systems. They're super, well, anyway, let's just get a presentation. Yeah. Don't take my word for it.
Julie, can you call me, you know, like tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I can maybe help arrange this. So
sure.
One, we can get a presentation and then put it on the agenda for our next meeting.
Sure. And then the other, I have one more item I wanted to also put on the radar for everybody. It's going to be this Thursday at the Los Osos Community Services District Board meeting. They're going to adopt a resolution for the 2022 elections. In the time between now and the election of 2022, they will have to district Los Osos. So they're going to chop it up into some sort of grid based upon the census tracts, and then the directors will have to come from the little districts, similar to what LOCAC has with the 4, but they'll have to have 5 because it's a 5-member board. But so that's something, again, because it's land use, I thought it might be interesting for us to follow along to see how we grid the community into those voting blocks. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can get somebody from the CSD to come and do a presentation also at our next meeting.
Yeah, so just watch BMC about the septic tank thing, and then also watch Los Osos CSD or read the agenda for Thursday. But then in the future, let's try to have something on our agendas.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
Sure.
Anybody else with any comments or announcements on the board?
Well, no. I don't know if I have. Well, there's the forum. Maybe I should. This is
Yeah.
I just would like to announce that the subcommittee on the homelessness forum is working really hard and it's coming together. Just to remind people, we also have the flyer ready, so I'm going to send it out. We are going to send it out, post it on our website and use it. It's going to be on January 26th, Tuesday from 6 to 8:30 Zoom. And we ask, actually, we prefer that people RSVP so we know who is coming, so that we can keep a list and try to be in contact remain in contact with people.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We'll try to do that. Any other announcements from members of the committee?
Oh, excuse me.
Okay. We have changed things around a little bit. Next item this is for comments from the public for items that are not on the agenda. We've had people wait till the very end of everything to do this. This is when we used to do it, but we've moved it up here at the beginning of the meeting so people can express their thoughts or ideas and not have to wait through all the rest of the meeting. So do we have anyone from the public that would like to make a comment or something not on the agenda? This is the time to raise your hand by clicking the buttons or visually waving your arms or something so we see you. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anybody else. So next we need to approve the minutes from our last meeting. Anyone would like to make a motion for approval?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes? We'll take that as everybody. Can't see everybody, but there we go. So moving on to items on the agenda. The first item on the agenda we're going to be talking about is the Davis project, which is building some decks or something. Do we have somebody here from that project that would like to talk about it or anything?
Vicky Cruz is here.
Yeah, Steve, this is Steve Cruz. How you guys doing?
Oh, there we go. Fine.
Excellent. If I haven't seen you guys on the road walking, hello, Steve and Vicky Cruz.
Hi.
Happy New Year. Yeah, we're trying to, we bought this house in like, I don't know, for the spring. And we're trying to take 2 existing decks from the same level and and make them one deck essentially. Both decks have pretty much been termite infested, which we have to do repairs to anyways. and the deck's only 5 feet wide presently. We're not trying to make a huge deck, but we're just trying to get 2 decks combined together to make 1 deck essentially.
Okay. Sounds something worth doing. Are there any questions from any members on the board? Paul?
So you have 2 5-foot wide decks and you're just gonna make it 1 long 5-foot wide deck.
Well, there's 2 decks. One's like off the master, the bedroom upstairs, if you will. And the
Mhm.
other's off the kitchen, and they're both about 20 feet apart. So one's 5 feet wide, so we're gonna make it about 5 feet wider. So that'd be 10 feet wide at that point, and then get around the front to join the other section of the deck.
There's a pop out.
Because there's like a pop out from the house right there. So we're just gonna kind of push one out, make it wider, and then connect both of them.
So it's not gonna project further from the building.
It's gonna project out 5 feet further from the edge of the house.
From the pop out.
Oh,
From
okay.
Yeah, from where the window is right now, basically.
In order to go around the corner? Is that the
Yeah.
idea?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Larry,
Trish?
I did go and look at the site, and it's not going to impede on the neighbors' views from either house beside them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our house is it's a 2-level house, and both the houses on the side of us are 3-level houses. So they're much further towards the ocean, much further towards the street below than our house is. They kind of dwarf our house. It's kind of set back in between those 2 houses.
Okay, thank you. Any members, any other questions or comments or anything? Okay, I'd like to open this up to the public now. Would any,
Sue
Anybody
has
from-
her hand.
So,
Oh,
oh,
thanks.
I didn't see that.
I'll speak up next time, Larry. I just wanted to say that I agree with Trish. I've seen it too. And it is just exactly like they say, set back from the backs of the other houses. And it would, from what I could tell, would be completely inconsequential to the houses on either side of it. So I can't see any problem at all with the deck.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. So was that all the members now? I can't see everybody. Yeah, okay. Now any members of the public have any questions or comments about this project? Anybody seeing any hands raised or nothing? Okay.
Julie has
So
a
I-
hand raised.
Has a hand raised. Julie?
Julie's not.
Julie, your hand was up?
I guess not.
You're muted now. Let me. I'm asking Julie to unmute. There we go.
How's that?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Since there was no public comment, I would like to make the motion to recommend approval to the larger LOCAC on a consent calendar.
I'll second that.
Okay, and Lynette, I saw you second it too. That sounds good to me. All in favor of passing this
Aye.
on the consent
Aye.
agenda to LOCAC? Is that unanimous? Again, I can't see everybody.
Look at my
Unanimous.
little reaction.
Okay, thank you for your motion, Julie.
Sure.
So moving along, we can let the crews let these folks know what we did.
Larry, can you tell them about LOCAC when it is?
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping they'd come back on visually so I could.
They're on there.
We're
Right
on.
there.
There, I'm not seeing them. Okay. Everyone else is seeing them.
We're seeing him.
Okay. Anyway, so we approved your project. This will be going to the full board of LOCAC at what's their meeting? The 28th?
28th.
The 28th of January, 7 o'clock. It's a Zoom meeting too. It'll be on their consent agenda to pass on to county planning and building that we see nothing wrong with your project. And we wish you well. It would be nice if you checked in on that meeting just in case, to just to see how we do things.
We can do
But
that.
otherwise, we see no question about your project.
Okay.
How do we get the link and the Zoom info?
We will send the link to you.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you very much. That's nice and easy.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very
Okay.
much.
Yeah. And follow us on our Zoom meetings and stuff. See what's going on in our town here.
Yeah, I'd like to. This is a very nice group, so we'd like to join up with you guys.
Good. Good.
Can I just let people know that our website will have Zoom links to all of our meetings,
Right.
locac.info. So if you lose your email that you'll be sent as to the link, you can find it on our website and the other meetings too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynette. The next would be the Goodwin project. Do we have somebody here from the Goodwin project?
Yeah, this is Les Goodwin.
They can't hear you. Oh,
Yeah, no, can you hear me?
Oh,
there he is.
yes. Hi, Les.
Okay,
Wait.
I'm here.
Okay.
There you are. Okay. So Les, you want to tell us about the house construction project?
Well, we're trying to get a permit to build our house on El Sereno, about 1.33 acres up in Bayview Heights. And with this, when the Board of Supervisors votes on the habitat conservation plan, hopefully we'll be able to mitigate the snails that are on the site. That's what we've been waiting for since '03.
Since '03. You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, we got one, they found one snail, but a bunch of empty shells, but they found one snail in the 2 or 3 reports we've had done so far.
So they're waiting on the snail mitigation. Is that with Fish and Game and stuff?
Fish and Wildlife, the feds. Okay,
Or
that's
Fish and
part
Wildlife.
of the countywide plan that the Board of Supervisors is gonna vote on. I thought they were gonna do it on the 15th, and I guess they extended it.
They
No,
did.
they did. They already voted on it.
Oh, they did? I thought it was postponed for
No.
until
not
January.
postponed.
Goes to Coastal Commission.
Okay, well, that's good. So Coastal Commission's got it. So if they ratify it, then it's in place. And hopefully we can proceed down with our plans to get the building permit. It's a
Okay,
single-story
well,
house, yeah.
yeah, I keep us posted on how things are going, because I guess we could have a little discussion on this. I don't see anything wrong that property is big enough to support a little house on it, and
Mhm.
I don't see any issues with building a house on your property. I don't want to quite open this. I don't want to quite open this up to discussion yet, because it's not really a discussion for us yet until Coast Commission says you can do that.
Well, but he's asking for a minor use permit and approval from us.
Yes,
So we do
Oh.
need to give it our thumbs up
Oh, okay.
so that he can progress through the pipeline.
I have a question. So what's
Thank
the,
you, Ju.
what's
Mhm.
the water issue here? Is that all? Is there water? Do you
we
have-
have a certificate. We've had for probably about 6 years. We got when we did the retrofit, the 2-to-1. So we've got our water certificate that's already registered with the county.
Yeah, you're already saving water for us.
I have been, yes.
Yes, you
How-
have.
How is that done? I'm just curious.
We retrofitted toilets, okay, before the moratorium,
And showers.
and toilets and showers. We did all the plumbing fixtures.
So you do have a house there?
No, we do
No.
not.
Oh,
No.
We retrofitted so we could get the certificate
oh, I
for the
see.
water offset. We've already replaced all the toilets and shower heads and
In
shower
other
valves and all
homes,
that stuff.
in other homes.
Oh, in another
other-
home here in the
Other
social?
homes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that means we've been saving water for the last 5 or 6 years since we got, I forget the date on the certificate, but yeah, it's been quite a while. They keep saying go, 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 but then it's all of a sudden stopped. So it's like, oh. So now we hope we got another go as far as getting our permit.
Okay.
Larry, there's
The,
a public member that raised hand.
first, let me check with all the board members. Do any of the board members have any questions or comments they'd like to make about this project?
No, the floor
I'd like
plan-
to ask go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I looked at the floor plans and they look great. They look, as a single story home on lots of land.
Looks very appropriate for the area.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Okay.
Larry?
Yes, go ahead, Sue.
Thanks. Les, is that your name?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Les.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I was just curious. I think maybe you could educate me. I thought that when they're looking for snails, if they just find one snail, that doesn't really constitute a community, so that it doesn't have the same ramifications as if they find a lot of snails. And did I just make that up? Or, I read that somewhere. Is that a new policy that hasn't kicked in yet, or I don't understand exactly. Can you tell me about it a little?
Well, what they did is they found a bunch of empty shells. So they figure over a period of time, there's been more than one.
I
Okay,
see.
but during the rainy, they have to do it just after a rain event. Okay, or really heavy fog once it's into that season. So they went out and they found one snail at one part, but in other parts they found some empty shells. So they assume that there's more than one.
I
But
see.
they, in the five survey, they have to do it 5 times in a short period of time. So they found the one and they didn't find it on the others. But it's a long story because you're dealing with the feds. There was the federal Fish and Wildlife that did it. And from what I understand, the gal that I was dealing with retired. So we have somebody new now, but
Goodness.
we've been waiting for this report to be in. I've been working with a planner for years. And she says, look, they're not accepting the minor use, the habitat conservation plan for individual lots. They're waiting for the community-wide plan to go. So we got kind of wrapped up in that. And we've been waiting, and finally they're going to vote on it at the Coastal Commission. I guess the county's already ratified it. So now if the Coastal Commission gives it the green light, then we're okay. They know what to do. They got the precedent set. So that's what we're hoping for. And that's why we're going down the road. We had our archaeological done. They didn't find anything. We've had the botanical. Well, they did find a plant that they have recently listed on the county plan for rare plants. It's not a federal, it's just a county thing. And the biologist or the botanist says there's no problem. We can transplant those, no problem. Get them out of where we're going to be doing our work. We can get that out of the way. But that's how things have been changed. We've been going along. Every time we go along, there's something else they find we have to mitigate. So anyway, we're going down the road and hopefully it's light at the end of this tunnel.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for the explanation.
Thank you. So any other questions or comments from members of the committee? If not, then are there any questions or comments from the public out there?
Yeah, you have Patrick McGivney.
Okay, Patrick, do you we'll unmute you and
Thank you. Les, just out of curiosity, where did you get your water credits from within the Los Osos area?
Throughout Los Osos, basically.
Within
I
the
started off
moratorium,
with-
within the
Pardon me?
moratorium area?
Some of them were, some of them weren't. It just depends. I had friends in different areas that we got to do some. And then others were just, one person said, hey, you're getting free toilets. We didn't charge the people anything. We bared the complete cost of all of it.
Okay. Just so with the CDP that the Coastal Commission gave the county on approval of the wastewater treatment plant, on condition 5, there was $5 million that was supposedly allocated for retrofits within the prohibition zone.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just curious as to how is it that someone else could come in, because the county's supposed to be paying all the people within the prohibition zone to retrofit their toilets, their showers and things like that. That's what the $5 million was there for. We only spent probably half of that, on doing that. So I'm just kind of curious how it is someone private could come in and pay for that for other people when the county is supposed to be doing that themselves.
We did it before that was enacted.
Mhm.
Okay. We did it a lot before that. And just so you know, okay, the system has worked. Okay, because the people at the treatment plant aren't getting the water they expected because of all the retrofit that has occurred in Los Osos. So, a lot of it's going to Broderson to recharge the water base and all that. But from what they've told me, they're not getting the amount of water they thought they were going to get. And it's all due to the retrofit projects that they've had in the area.
Well, it's also due because the residents have really
Pat,
conserved their water.
Pat, the question you have, Pat, is the question for the county to decide, not for the individual person here to answer, to point out every house that he retrofitted or not.
I understand.
This is not the forum for that, please.
Right. Thank you.
There any other questions by the public there about this project? Okay. Julie, do you want to make a motion on this? Or somebody want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll move. Am I muted, unmuted? Can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. I'll move that we recommend approval for Mr. Goodwin's project and send it to LOCAC to be on their consent calendar.
I'll second.
I'll third it too. I think he's been waiting long enough. Anything we can do to help him. All in favor of sending this to LOCAC on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that as unanimous unless there's anyone opposed or neutral to this. Okay, thank you, Les. You definitely have our support. Again, we'll be sending this on to the LOCAC meeting in January 28th on Zoom. They'll have it and put it on their consent agenda.
Okay, so we do this again on the 28th?
You can sit there and watch it. If it's on the consent agenda, there's actually no discussion. They should just approve it.
Okay.
But it's good if you were watching it and stuff, see what's going on,
Okay.
And we wish you luck. I hope you'll find out something to do with that one snail that they found.
Great deal. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Les.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next on the consent agenda, we have the Morrow Shores Mobile Home Park project where they wanted to add some more units. We do have an update here. Let me see. Debbie, are you here somewhere?
Yeah,
there's
here.
Debbie. There's Debbie. If you'd like to update us on what's been going on and what's it look like on this project?
Sure, thank you. I'm Debbie Rudd. I'm a principal at RM Design Group. I don't know if there are new people here from last time, but in case there are, I'm here with Michael Milan, who has been working for the property management company for years, who's been managing the Morrow Shores mobile home park. And I'm here also with Nairi Cacho Asajian, who is the project manager for the property owner. So between the three of us, hopefully we can answer all your questions. I'm just going to share my screen if that'll work. Do you have to allow me to do that?
Let's see, I have it open for screen sharing. Oh, there you go.
Can you
It's
see it?
starting to work. There it is.
Okay, great. So I thought I would just do a quick overview of the project in case there's anyone new at the meeting. And then we touch on some items that have come up since the last meeting. So this is the existing Morrow Shores Mobile Home Park. It's an age-restricted park for 55 years age and older. It is 164 homes today, and our proposal is to add 10 additional single-story homes. This is our site. You can see the existing homes here. Can you guys see my cursor too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's accessed off of Ramona, and it's bordered by Broderson. And then there's the area that we are proposing to add some more development is at the lower half of that site. So now we're going to take a look at, basically I'm zooming in on this lower half of the site. And on the left side, we're showing 4 new homes. And then on the right side or east side, it would be an additional 6 new homes here. And then the green area is the proposed common area with some new amenities for the park neighbors. Now I'm going to do a blow up of just that green area. Takes a second for it to all load. I'm going to try to reduce it a little bit here. There. Is it loaded? So this is the common area. There's a new proposed dog park over in one area, a putting green. The existing bocce ball courts would remain. And then these are some shade structures and some dining tables and chairs. And then in the center is a drainage basin. We're required with these new units to supply parking with that, and we're supplying 2 additional parking spaces besides what is required. And then with that, at the last meeting, we heard loud and clear that some people really supported the idea of housing, or it sounded like most people supported the idea of having more affordable housing in Los Osos, but there is definitely a concern about water use in Los Osos, hands down. And there was some question about the irrigation history. And so we did go back and do some homework on what the irrigation history is, created a timeline to see when was the irrigation started, when did it stop? And what we found was the grass looked like it had been irrigated through 2013 and stopped somewhere between 2014 and 2015. And that's when there was the water reduction orders that went out in Los Osos. And then the sewer project came through around 2016, and the owners were anticipating this project coming through, so they did not replant and re-irrigate that. I mean, the irrigation is still there, though it's broken. They did not replan it thinking that they would have this project coming forward. It's my understanding they could, if they chose to, they could hook up that irrigation and plant grass there if they so chose. But what they really are wanting to do is add some more homes and add that landscaped area.
And
We
Debbie,
also look back.
if I can just add to clarify the water reduction order that was issued by Governor Brown from the state. So it started as a voluntary order and then it became a mandatory order on water usage, just to clarify.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, not just for Los Osos, but statewide. Yeah. Then we went back and thought, okay, so can we reduce, let's take a look at our landscape plans. Are there any further reductions we can make? And we analyze that. There are some further reductions that options that we have to reduce the water for the landscaping that we're proposing even further. And then we also looked at options for retrofitting and how could we do some retrofitting to also help offset. Then we sent in December, we sent out a letter to the residents to explain the project and get some feedback from them. We did get some emails, some feedback from residents. One of the things the residents that we heard more than one time was that they do not want any of our proposed trees to block views. And the owner agreed we will eliminate any trees that are blocking views from the site plan, from the landscape plan. They also requested that we a hard copy so that in their clubhouse so that they could have easy access to go view the set of plans. And that is in their clubhouse today. So people can go there and view one at a time for COVID safety, but it is there. And then, so where we are right now, we're in the middle of, or at the beginning really of the development plan review process with the county. We've submitted a package. Now they're analyzing and looking at the package, and we are hoping to get information back from them and go to the LOCAC meeting on January 28th. And then ultimately Planning Commission will be the deciding body. So with that, I will open it up to questions.
Okay. First, do we have any questions from any of the board members, or questions or comments regarding this project?
I'll go if you want me to.
Okay, Julie, go ahead.
I was hoping to hear from my colleagues, but Debbie, I'm just not hearing you commit to a full retrofit program. I don't care how much water you save in irrigation, it doesn't fly. I want to see a 2-to-1 retrofit, just like Mr. Goodwin did on his project, in your project. To accomplish that, you're going to need 1,500 points using the retrofit program from Title 19. So however you get those points without irrigation, then you'll have my support. End of story.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments from any of the board members?
Lindy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you had done some work to cut back on the water usage. I'm just curious what you did because I don't really see any change. Is the dog park going to be irrigated? Is the putting green irrigated? And then there was a question about trying to get more affordable units in there. I didn't hear that addressed. And is that something that you can't do or won't do? I guess those are my two questions. And I support that you get all the retrofits that anybody else needs to get for taking extra water. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lindy.
Larry, do you want me to answer that now, or do you want me to wait till the end?
Oh, if you want to answer that, you can.
Okay. You are right, Lindy. We did not redraw the site plan yet to augment it for the new landscaping. And the putting green will be turf, artificial turf. It won't be grass. On the dog park, we could change that to DG or something like that. But we were thinking that the owners or the residents would really prefer to have grass in that one area. So this little strip was the only turf that we were proposing. Before, we had proposed some turf on the home sites as well, but that's not necessary. It can be other kind of landscaping. And so what we did was we took all the landscaping and changed it to more drought tolerant landscaping and changed the turf to a more drought tolerant turf. And we're able to reduce the water numbers for landscaping for that.
Also, the number of trees that were proposed and in anticipation, or the feedback about potentially blocking views, we eliminated any potential view blockage. So those also took away from the use.
And the affordability?
So on the affordability, let me see if I can go back. We're trying to keep the home sizes. They may be smaller than the homes that are there, but we're trying to keep the home sizes somewhat similar to the existing homes so that it feels like a neighborhood. And we also want to have the character of the existing homes we want the homes to have the same character. So they're small, but we're not proposing tiny homes or something like that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that answers the question. Is there any other questions from board members or comments?
Yes, me. Larry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's this?
This is Lynette. I would just
Oh,
like
hi.
to support real grass for the dog park. That particular area, that complex really got hit hard when Sweet Springs closed access to dogs. And a lot of people in the park were quite upset by that. And I think it would really be nice. I know it's water, but I really feel like dogs need someplace to go. And since Sweet Springs was closed off and they really haven't had dogs going in there, I don't know, I just feel like we really need to keep that little dog area open and keep it with real grass.
Okay, Lynette, thank you for your comment. I agree with the thing for dog areas and stuff. I prefer, dirt and some other things for dogs. I don't think grass is necessary, but again, that's up to them. My dogs like running on the dirt. So, okay, any other questions or comments, Lynette? We will take your comment in it'll be noted.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to open this up to the public then. Are there any questions or comments from members of the public about this project?
You have one raised hand, Larry.
Okay, there's Patrick. Patrick, we're going to try to unmute you and let you make a comment.
Gotcha. Thank you. I just wanted to say I do agree with Julie and with Lindy regarding the water usage and retrofits. Those are really, really important. As far as affordability, though, we were talking last time, I think you're mentioning these homes were somewhere around the $300,000 to $400,000 price range. And I understand that the county considers mobile homes affordable, but in reality, that's not really something affordable for the community. So is there any chance that you might be able to get some ones that are actually affordable homes in there?
Yeah, Debbie, I don't know if you want to answer that or, what, or if you don't want to answer it. I don't quite understand the question.
Is there a possibility of getting some of those homes where they are actually affordable instead of 3-bedroom, 2-bath, having them like 2-bedroom, 1-bath and affordable? So more in the, maybe $200,000 price range.
We can take that as a comment, but I don't think it's fair to ask them, can you sell me, build me some cheap homes? It's not fair. They want to build homes.
Well, yeah, but she brought up the fact about affordability.
Oh,
I can't say, I don't think
Debbie?
I presented this part. Maybe this is a little helpful. We're showing 2 options. One option is a 2-bedroom option and one option is a 3-bedroom option. And the 2-bedroom is a 1,200 square foot home. And then the 3-bedroom is a 1,500 square foot home. And it's not that that'll be exactly what is on there, but that's what we're anticipating. That's what we're showing. And as far as the price, it's going to end up being whatever the going rate is. The sooner we get them in, the cheaper they're going to be. And it'll just depend on what going rates are at that time.
Okay. Thank you. Patrick, does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other comments or questions from members of the public?
I just have a general question, Larry.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
The mobile home park is within the moratorium area, right?
Yes.
So how come they can build while the rest of the area cannot build? I mean, it's a really basic question. I'm sorry, kind of coming in late to ask that.
Because it's an already developed site.
Already developed site. Yes, I have developed site. I cannot even put an ADU.
No, but you could add a bedroom or a bathroom. And that's
not the same. They're adding.
That's already.
That's virtually what they're doing.
ADU's different.
I see. Well, but they're adding a whole homes. As far as water use, it's like adding a whole 10 homes to our community.
They have 30 acres, so they have lots of space, and it's just a different animal.
I know, but the water usage is one animal. We have one.
And that's, well, when it's my turn, I'll comment again on that.
Yeah. Yael, I do have a question into the county regarding this, whether they're considering this a new build or an add-on, but that I haven't heard back from the county yet. When I do, I will let you know. And I can see them looking at it in either way, It's not a new build, because a new build, you have to have a new sewer connection. They're not having a new sewer connection. They're already hooked to the sewer, but I want to see what the county is regarding this because they'll have to clear it through the Coastal Commission too.
Larry, if I recall correctly, somebody from the committee had already emailed Carrie at the county asking this question, and she had determined that is that you, Robin? I didn't remember who, but she did say it's not a new development. So that's
correct. I did email Carrie Brown, and she said there's an exemption for permits in process. Technically, the Morro Shores Mobile Home Park is not an undeveloped parcel. So currently there's no restrictions. New development
Yael,
is required.
Yael, that was my question, and there's the answer. There's the answer. They're looking at this like adding a bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
So,
not like adding bathroom. I just don't get it. I understand. I hear you. I just see the discrepancy here, and I don't understand it, you know?
Okay, okay, and that'll be noted, Yale. That will be noted. So bring this back to the board here. I don't think there's any other public comments or questions. Any, again, from the board, are there any?
Sue, I have a comment.
Who's this?
Sue.
Oh, Sue. Hi, Sue. Go ahead.
Hello. Great, thanks. I'm not trying to challenge this construction at all with my statement. I just want to say that I just take a little bit of offense to this being called affordable housing. And I know you say that's what the county calls it, but when you're charging, I believe you said last time that we met, you were saying that the people are paying $1,500 for their lots. And that seems to me already out of the price range of affordable housing. So by changing, you know, making the houses smaller, you still got this nut to start with. So, I mean, to me, it's just housing. It's not really affordable housing. It's just housing. But again,
No.
I'm not trying to put a monkey wrench into this. I just wish it wouldn't be called affordable housing because it's misleading. Thank you.
I would like to clarify this. I don't think anywhere in this, I'm the one that brought up at the last meeting, affordability wise. I don't think they're proposing this as affordable housing or low income housing or anything else. And they're not selling it as that. They're not saying we're making this affordable housing. They want to add units that'll be more housing here. And I think I made the comment, well, you know, it's in the affordable range, meaning 300,000. That's affordable. If you look at most of the houses here in Los Osos now, they're over 500,000. But anyway, I don't think they're not trying to sell this as affordable housing.
Okay.
Myself.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Larry.
Can I comment?
Yeah. Who's this?
This is Julie.
Oh, hi, Julie. Yes, go ahead.
So this is going to go forward with or without us. I would like to just first make the point that to get the 2-to-1 offsets through retrofits might cost the developer $50,000. Divided over the 10 homes is hardly anything in the scheme of how much water can be saved by that little bit of money. So if we recommend that this go forward, I would like it to go, so this is sort of a half motion, go to the full LOCAC with the recommendation from land use that it does use the 2-to-1 retrofit program to offset its water use. They have over 100 other units in their park that could use more efficient washing machines, the hot water on demand. There are so many opportunities in that park to retrofit, to gather their own water. They don't have to go out into the community and get it. It's right there at their fingertips. So I would ask that my fellow board members join me in this recommendation that the project go forward, but not without a 2-to-1 offset through the retrofit program.
From on-site.
On-site, sure, it's right there. They just sent a letter to their residents. They could send another letter saying, who needs a new washing machine? You know, and they'll have all the water saved in a very short order.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Julie, I think that was very good. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments?
I would second her suggestion.
So would I.
Thank you all.
Okay, so is there
Okay.
So that is the motion, and it sounds like there's a second.
Julie, could you go for me, since I'm trying to write this down and I do
Uh-huh.
support you on this, could you restate your motion so
Sure,
that I
I
can hit it
recommend
correctly?
that the Land Use Committee send this to LOCAC on their regular agenda for January 28th with the recommendation that the project use the 2-to-1 offset retrofit program, ideally from the units already in the park.
Thank you.
Okay. I need to put everyone on hold. Robin, Robin, do I have you here? There's a Miss Eve Grunfest, and she wanted to make a comment.
Okay, I will unmute her or ask her.
Yeah,
to.
Eve, are you there?
I'm here. You hear me?
Hi, Eve. Yeah, we'll get this.
Okay, I just wanted to go on the record, first of all, supporting what Julie just suggested about the offsets for the water if we're going ahead with this. But I also just wanted to go on the record as a resident of Morro Shores saying that there were a number of other issues that were raised that were not addressed, like the idea of having electric car plug-ins and solar options and maybe a community garden. And I just also wanted to be clear that when the consultant is talking about all the open space, basically, if you look at the map, the amount of open space in the park is going to be much, much less. And then the houses that are going to be on the lots are going to be much bigger in terms of the percentage of the lots that they take up with the house. And so the character of the park as a garden oasis, which if you've been in the park, you really do have that feeling of the mature landscaping and people who've really gone to a lot of trouble to put in drought tolerant plants and, you know, incredible landscaping around and gardens. The character of the place is going to change. So I just wanted to be on the record saying that, you know, I think that's unfortunate.
Eve,
Okay,
what was
thanks.
your last name? I'm sorry.
It's Gruntfest, Gruntfest.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you, Eve. I'm sorry we didn't get to you sooner, but I finally got the text, so thank you for that.
Larry, may I make a comment? This is Nairi.
Yes. Yes.
Just in reply to that, we did receive, Eve, your letter. Management received it with many of your suggestions and feedback, and I believe we had responded to you that with the electrical vehicle charging station, we spoke with ownership. We're looking into it to see if it's something we can possibly consider. And I believe we had responded to each of those points. So I know there's an open communication there, and I just wanted to be on the record as well that we are considering an EV charging station if that's possible for the parking layout.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for addressing that. So now getting back to our motion from Julie and Trish, did you have?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's fine. I have it written down. We need a second and then a vote, please.
Okay.
I will second it.
Okay. Okay, and then all those in favor of sending this on to LOCAC with the stipulation of 2-to-1 offset, is that what? Do you want to read the motion again?
Land use will send to LOCAC on the regular agenda with project to use the 2-to-1 retrofit. Ideally, the retrofit will come from the property. I'll find it a little bit better, but.
From the.
Yeah, but that's basically it. And then Yale seconded it, so now we know what it is. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And there's me. Anyone opposed or neutral to this? Not seeing any hands raised. Okay, so we'll send this on to LOCAC then. Debbie, so you'll know this will be coming up on the 28th, their meeting. of LOCAC, the regular LOCAC board, with our suggestions,
Okay.
and we can go from there. To members of the public, again, if you have comments or anything, this will be another time to put in comments or questions at the regular meeting of the Community Advisory Council on Thursday, the 28th, 7 o'clock on your favorite Zoom channel.
Thank you. Thank you all for your comments and for sending us on to LOCAC.
Okay, thank you, Debbie, and wish you luck on this project. Okay, we wraps it up. God, we did it in good time.
No, we got the
Oh, we
bridge.
have one more thing.
Oh,
South Bay.
Bridge.
South Bay.
No, South Bay. I'm sorry. Dang. Okay.
Hot date, Larry?
Yeah. Okay. Somebody correct me or not. Did we not at either at LOCAC or Land Use here long ago see this the bridge project? Or am I the only?
We have seen it in the past.
We
It's
have.
been talked about it for a long time.
We did not talk about it, but they sent it to us. So I've seen the documents, but I don't think we ever discussed it.
Okay. So anyway, I got some questions and stuff from some members of the public. And so I just wanted to put it on to us have a discussion about it again, or to hear from the public about their concerns on this project. You know, there was a deadline for putting in comments and stuff, and I think we passed that, but the word has been they'll still accept comments from us or from anyone, so that if we do come up with any ideas or concepts or different ways of looking at it, we can do that at our meeting here. So is there anyone with any comments or ideas about this project?
I see Lindy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Lindy.
Yeah, I was looking it over and I'm really concerned about the staging area. What they're proposing is to use Santa Isabel from the part that's an abandoned road all the way down, but it's going to impact the entrance and activities at the church on the corner. And there's a street with, I think, 5 houses on it to the left and another street to the right. And right after that is where they propose to go. If you look at the third aerial, they propose to take that whole section and use it for staging lane. Well, it's just like a 1-lane road at this point because it's got overgrowth and nature's been filling that road in. It was abandoned, I don't know, 40 years ago. And what I was looking at is you drive past the bridge and past Turry Road, that section that's right beyond that, there's a very wide swatch of land that doesn't look like it's in the park or a state park area. It has nothing living on it except veldt grass. And to me, that would be this is a 2-year project. I cannot imagine, and they were impacted with some of the sewer project staging stuff there too. I cannot imagine the impact that it's going to have on those neighbors to have stuff coming in, dropping off. I mean, this is a huge project, you know, maybe as big as the sewer in some ways because we had other areas we used. But I would propose that we question whether they could change that staging area if maybe it's too much environmental. It would be visually not attractive to traffic, but I think it's a much better location. It's closer to where they're building the bridge. The section from Cherry Road north, there's a huge section of land. So that you guys can all look at it too, but if you can imagine all that construction going on for 2 solid years, and going in and out past entrances and so forth. And I just don't think that's an appropriate place for that much.
Yeah, well, or up here,
I see.
this area.
Okay. Thank you, Lindy. We will put that down as one of the questions or comments from the member of the committee. Any other member of the committee have any questions or comments about this project?
Somewhere
I had one other one, and I will send my own in. The other was the possibility of keeping the old bridge. It's seismically unfit for traffic. At this point, they don't want to keep using it, but I wonder if it wouldn't be better to leave that bridge as just a pedestrian and bikeway. It would help make the connector to the trail possibly a little bit better too. I'm not sure, but just an idea. I'd love to look at old bridges. So.
Okay, Lindy. Thank you very much. If there aren't other board members with questions, I'd like to open this up to the public. And I see Dave Bolus has his hand raised.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Dave.
Hi. I was one of the people who contacted Larry and suggested this go on the agenda because I had the impression that the deadline for comments was actually passed. But since then, I've spoken to Monica Stillman at Public Works, and she said that they're still a couple years out on this project, and they'll be taking comments and suggestions for it for some time, and I've got a screen that I'd like to share just to show people what we're talking about. If I can do that, Larry.
Okay, I think it's still open. Yes, it's still open. You should be able to share.
Okay. Okay, if that comes up, that's part of a document.
There it is.
You see it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's part of a document that is called the South Bay Boulevard Bridge 1222 65% plans. It's 116 pages, but with lots of stuff. But this shows Los Osos Creek. It shows the road going up to San Isabel and the road to Morro Bay. Can you see my cursor wagging around there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And where the creek is. And it shows this diversion of the road over to the east side. And then it curves back at Turi Road and then joins back up to the road to Morro Bay. And if I can figure out how to get back to my other picture here, just a second here, I've got something else to share. So let me see if I can figure out how to do that somehow here. I don't want to stop sharing. Well, let me see what happens if I click on something else down here. See if that'll share. I don't know, does that share? Does that show up there? Maybe not.
Give us a minute or two.
Maybe you have to say stop share for this.
Oh,
specific
okay,
one.
okay.
Is it a different application, Dave?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop share. Okay, now I'm gonna share again. Okay, here's the enlargement coming up.
Okay.
Okay, that shows.
Give us a minute. There it is.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so one of my first concerns was if you've ever been on Turi Road and you're trying to turn left to get back to Los Osos, you're looking up to the north here, trying to see the cars coming at 60 miles an hour. And it's not that easy to do right now. And so I'm looking at the way that they've changed this so that if you're sitting here waiting to turn left, because of the shape of this, it's going to be harder to see what's up the road. coming from the north. And you know, the nose of your car here at the stop sign line is inches from cars coming southbound, or sorry, cars coming northbound from the south at 60 miles an hour. So that worried me. And I called Monica Stillman this afternoon and asked her about it. And she checked with, she's in the environmental department at Public Works. But she checked with the traffic engineers and they said that they hadn't really talked about this. So my suggestion was that they needed to move South Bay Boulevard over some more, so a driver here would have an easier time looking to the north to figure out if cars were coming. Anyway, so she said that they haven't considered that yet and that they're only at the 65% level. They got a couple more years for suggestions and thinking about this. And so if that's something that is of concern to me or anybody else, that it probably can be straightened out before they build the thing. And the other thing that she mentioned was, because I asked about the pathway, which is to be on the, slated to be on the west side of the bridge. She said that as far as she understands, state parks right now favors having the coastal trail on this side of South Bay Boulevard, that is the bay side.
West side.
And so the west side. And so that would fit in with having the path here on the west side of the bridge, just like it is now. And the bridge is, the current bridge, according to the document, is 37 feet wide. The new bridge will be 50 feet wide. So that gives a little bit wider space for the pedestrian way and a little bit wider space for the lanes and a little bit wider space for the shoulders. And if you've ever walked across that bridge, there hardly are any shoulders at all. It's very narrow for pedestrians. So anyway, it's still in the early planning stages. Well, the 65% planning stages. They're still taking suggestions. So, you know, Lindy, put in your 2 bits, and anybody else who has any thoughts about it. The restoration is supposed to be up there on San Isabel, where they would do the construction yard that Lindy was talking about. So presumably they would widen it and chew it up some on San Isabel before they restored it. So that's probably part of the plan, but I'm not sure what is the plan for right here, where, sorry, on the other side of the creek, where the old bridge would be removed, the area that would be adjacent to the Elfin Forest, and which is the place that all the water coming down South Bay drains into the bay through a big patch of ice plant. I'm not sure exactly. The deadline hasn't really passed, even though they said they were going to call off the comments on December 15th. So keep your eyes on this, and if you have any thoughts, send them to the county.
Is it January 15th?
Well, the last time she said January 15th, but she told me it's going to be extended and they're still taking ideas. So obviously, if they haven't even looked at this sight line yet, they've got more work to do on the project. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Dave, for updating and keeping us informed of this project. I guess a traffic signal there at Terry Road wouldn't work.
I don't think I want to see that.
No, please.
Yeah.
Had traffic backed up the hill. Yeah.
Well, no lights. Oh gosh. Thanks for bringing
Yeah.
that, Dave. That's super interesting. I have to go back and read the biology. There's a different kind of snail on the other side of the creek, and I wonder how they're handling that one.
I don't think there's anything in there about snails. What I saw was Moro manzanita.
Most definitely on our side.
Yeah, Moro manzanita, and also they have to take out some oaks. They're on the east side of South Bay Boulevard, and so that's part of the project. And one of the things she told me was that they had considered other ways of doing it, including going right on the same path as the old bridge, which would have meant closing things down there for a year or two entirely. And that Turi Road was ruled as a inadequate
Collector.
go around for traffic. And so that was ruled out. And apparently between Caltrans and the federal government and the fact that some of this money is going to come from the feds, the whole thing is up in the air right now in terms of how much it's going to cost the county and how fast anything's going to happen. So, it's like Lindy was saying, it would be nice to keep the old bridge for a place that you could look at the bay and relax. Although I'm not really in favor of having it also be a turnout for tourists who are coming along, stopping for a smoke or something.
May I ask Dave a question?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
Dave, did you happen to ask her about the question you had about the bike paths that had mentioned that there is one on the southbound side, but not sure about one on the northbound side?
She didn't mention anything about the bikes, and I didn't specifically bring it up on that talk, but there is nothing on the northbound side as it stands, but it could be easily, the pedestrian way could easily be moved to the other side of the bridge, she said, without any big deal.
But there needs to be on both sides for a bike.
But there's nothing on both sides.
Well, that sounds like a shortcoming.
Yeah.
You can go one direction, but you can't come home.
Can I pick who goes out of town?
Presumably it would be just the same as it is now for bicycles going northbound.
It's still not safe.
Yeah, they gotta hold their breath and pedal fast.
Yeah, Paul, I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, being somebody who cycles that road 3 times a week, the shoulder is fine until you get to the bridge.
Right.
And it's very wide. I mean, we're all used to riding, so I know most people would rather it was a designated separate bike lane, but that's not going to happen, as we know. So if they keep that 5-foot wide shoulder going across the bridge, then I would say for somebody who cycles regularly, it's going to be a vast improvement.
Yeah, that's part of the reason the bridge is wider, is to have a wider shoulder across the bridge.
Yeah.
Good. So I have again a basic question. I mean,
Yael?
like that, does it take a
Yael, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does it take an environmental impact report? I mean, what officially? I mean, it's huge.
It's something that the Coastal Commission is looking at and hasn't finished with. There's a CEQA business that's going on. There's all kinds of stuff. All sorts of reports are going to have to be done on it.
So you say it's not going to start before 2 years?
You say it isn't. They're still designing it.
Sorry, your sound went out, Yael.
I'm asking if what you just told us is that it's not going to start before 2 years.
That's what she guessed was the earliest.
Wow, because I told our bike crowd people that we might have to look for another area starting point, because that's the staging area. It's where we start our rides from Los Osos.
Guess we have a ways to go.
It's like about a month or two, so good. The longer the better.
Robin had her hand up.
Yeah, this is making me think of another maybe wrinkle to this project or consideration, but do you guys remember like back in like fall, late summer, early fall, when those folks came about wanting, and this would be a year ago, year and a half ago maybe, the folks that wanted to put in the fiber optic conduit there.
Right.
Do you know what
I do remember
on that project?
Yeah.
Did they do it?
No, I
they
don't think
didn't do
so.
it.
We would have known because they were going to be shutting down the road at times. I think it was October of 2019. I think it was probably my first land use committee meeting when I was became a public member.
I remember.
It's probably still creeping its way through the permit process.
Yeah, well, if
But they
that-
should
I mean, I
combine
can
them.
see that going on at the same time as this bridge building.
Good point.
Would be great.
Or like they normally do in Los Osos, they go ahead and do that one, and then they have to rip it up when they do the bridge. That's how Los Osos does it.
Oh, Trish, you're more cynical than I am.
I've lived here long enough now.
Yeah, actually, I talked to the sewer people about trying to do more than one thing down in the hole when they were going up the street, and they said, oh, no, that's just too complicated. With that, if they're going to put something else in, they have to dig their own hole later.
That's right.
Holes are expensive.
People get paid.
Job security, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing this to us.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
Thought provoking for sure.
Yeah, you know, Dave or everybody here, maybe we could all put our comments, you know, all these suggestions we came up with, bike paths, and, you know, just put it all in one note and send it to that lady, you know, just so they have our input.
Right.
Yeah, maybe from Trish's notes, we can get a collection of comments. And she said she was interested to know what happened tonight because I told her that it was going to be discussed.
Okay, Trish, could
Yeah, I should have the minutes done late tomorrow.
no hurry on the minutes, just some notes on what we do.
If I'm going to start,
Then maybe.
I'm going to get it done. And then,
Okay.
then we can take it from there.
So Yael,
Okay.
I was just looking at the paperwork that's on the website. They are asking for a mitigated negative declaration. Unless they're forced to do an EIR, they'll go this route with their CEQA review, which is a little simpler. Just to answer that question, mitigated negative declaration.
Does anybody see that as a problem? Those of you who
How
are
can it be negative?
much more familiar with the.
Because they're mitigating. That's why it's called mitigated negative declaration.
And
So,
how
so what they're doing is recognizing what they're going to do in their project description. They know what damages that they anticipate, and then they are offering up the solution to repair it. If it was an EIR, they would have to do a series of alternatives analysis and all the potential environmental impacts of those and the mitigation for those. So that's a much bigger deal to do an environmental impact report. And you know, as Dave was explaining, you know, Turry Road is not an option and South Bay Boulevard needs a new bridge. So the options are really small. There is no other alternative but to replace the bridge.
Okay.
So.
Can I just say, considering it's been considered as early as 2018, that's the first time I remember seeing it on a county document as a project in the future. And considering we're in earthquake territory, I kind of like to get this thing over with and not have to do 10 million reports. Meanwhile, we're driving across the bridge, we get an earthquake and we crash.
And we don't have a bridge.
Yeah. And then we won't have a bridge at all. So I sort of don't want to put any more burdens on this project. It's going to take long enough and the bridge is deemed unsafe. So, you know,
To drive
that's my
really
opinion.
fast.
Okay, so I think that I agree that if we send our comments through LOCAC, that it has the impact of coming through LOCAC. It's an extra credentials.
Yeah,
So-
you know, just some concerns. It's again, my 2 cents on the bridge is there's only 2 ways to get out of Los Osos. It's Los Osos Valley Road or South Bay. And growing up here, we always worried about Diablo. If it was to melt down or something, there's only 2 ways out of here. And so that bridge is real important. And the faster and quicker they can get that job done. If they have to kill a few snails, oh well.
They'll mitigate it.
They'll put
Yeah.
They'll put
Yeah.
new ones.
Julie, I have a question, Julie.
Yeah.
On the negative mitigated, whatchamacallit,
Uh-huh.
don't people proposing projects always ask for that anyway?
No, I mean, like the sewer, that was a big deal and they knew it was going to be a big deal. So they just put in for and did an environmental impact report. Then the even less stringent would be a categorical exemption. And obviously this one, they know that they're going to damage some habitat and have some resource restraints. So the categorical exemption is like kind of a no-brainer, you know. It's already damaged site, or it's not going to have very much in the way of impact. So there's just different levels of review for environmental impacts. And so this is what they call a mitigated negative declaration.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks. I just wondered how that worked.
No, no problem.
I have a question, Sue.
Yes, go ahead.
So I agree that we should write a letter with all these comments in it and have it be from land use. But I was wondering, do we want to have this go to LOCAC and you know, make the community aware and let them come again? Or do we want to ask the county to meet with us and have like not a workshop, you know, but just have a meeting with them specifically to have the community involved? I mean, we can have Sandra put it in the newsletter and make sure people really understand, or are we just going to let it go with just writing the letter? What is that? Are there options for us? What are you thinking, Larry?
I don't know.
Well, Lindy has her hand up.
What I wanted to say was, I know a neighbor that lives, two neighbors that live right near that supposed proposed staging area on Santa Isabel. They're clueless. They had no idea. So they have not been informed. So in some ways, it probably would be good to have some kind of a presentation that whether we do it at our LOCAC and just give a rough idea of what's coming and how long. But I think it's kind of up to us to share it with the community before it's 2 years along and they start seeing everything happening. So I like that idea of putting it on the website, at least maybe getting a presentation at this LOCAC or the next LOCAC meeting, so that the community can, if they want information, go take a look.
Okay, Yael, I see you've got your hand up.
I just say I agree. I think it should go through LOCAC. I think it should be widely informed, disseminated and informed, so people can come and express their opinions. Yes.
I now that I have had time to think about it, I agree. Maybe take it to LOCAC. I still would like a list of concerns to give to the county, so that if somebody from the county comes and talks to us and gives us a thing about it, they have an agenda that they're working on, not just hit and miss, you know, so they can address the Turry Road, the Santa Isabel, the bike lane, you know, instead of just to be more specific.
I have another concern. I don't know if any of you, did anyone else think about the concrete bear?
Oh, they plan on moving that to the other side.
To the other side?
Yeah, it's on the plan.
Okay.
If you were southbound on South Bay Boulevard, and for some reason you did not kink over to go on the bridge, you'd run smack into the bear.
Oh. Okay, so that's expensive to move a bear. Well, and you wouldn't, I mean, I would really hate to see that, you know, Kiwanis or somebody had to pay to move it out of their way and get another encroachment permit, or all the hoops and hurdles they went through to put that bear there. you know, you wouldn't want them to do that again. So hopefully
It's-
the project's picking up the cost associated.
It's on the 166 pages of plans
Okay,
to move it
all
over
right.
there.
But I like the idea of taking it to LOCAC. I think Jim Stanfield is in that neighborhood for the staging area. So
Yes.
he might be able to alert his neighbors to participate.
And I think, you know, if there's an issue of exactly how the staging area works, that's different from saying we don't want the bridge or something like that. Obviously, we want the bridge.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
And we want Turi Road to be safe.
Yes, we do. What
Taking
an
the left
icon.
turn onto it, out of it. Yeah.
So what are we doing then?
So, okay, so this is what I'm writing down that we're doing. So what we're doing is we're going to put this project onto the LOCAC agenda. We're also going to be writing a letter to the county to this person.
Monica Stillman.
That's it. And we're going to list all of our concerns and comments from tonight's meeting.
And then we're going to ask someone from the county to come and talk, or is that going to be Carrie or?
No, it would be that Monica
Stillman.
Well, Monica is the environmental person. She says that she's the person that bugs the rest of the Public Works Department. So it's possible it would be her, but also would be somebody from the traffic division if they're going to talk about Turi Road.
Well, that would be good.
That
Whoever they
if we give Monica the list of our concerns, then she might be able to draft, you know, who from Public Works might come and talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, good idea.
Okay, so I agree with it. Do we need a motion made on this, or?
I think we all agree. I think we agreed everything, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to put it on the LOCAC's agenda and ask someone from the county to answer some questions.
Correct. And we will get them the questions and concerns prior to the meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
You mean maybe even January meeting?
Yes.
Possibly. Good, great.
Yeah, they got
Yeah, the sooner.
4 weeks.
And if it's not the January meeting, if there really are 2 years and they're still just partway along, why, you know, in another month or two would be okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Well, if anyone have any other questions or comments or anything they want to say? Want to thank everybody for being here.
Thank
And
you.
how about adjourning the meeting?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Good meeting. Larry, good meeting.
It's good. It's good to see everyone's face again. I forgot what everyone looked like. It's been so long.
All right.
Okay.
Signing off. Good night.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Bye all.
Great meeting.
28.